All right, everybody, we're going to get started here. So go ahead and get your math packets, everybody. And I know some students may not have it, so don't worry about it. But if you have the math packets, go ahead and get it. And the math packet looks like this again. Again, if you don't have it, no big deal. But open page 13, 1-3. All right, before we get started, I know you just had Aubrey with the basics of trig. How did it go? Yes, no, too tough, too? Okay. Remember, we're going to be building more on that one, on the trig part, especially when you get to the practice side. Couple more things. Of course, you guys need to continue doing your homework. Hopefully, you're doing that as well, okay? So today we're going to shift from, last time we did circles on math, we're going to shift to more of an, what we call simple math 101, but many students actually struggle in this, okay? So we're going to start with the bottom of page 13, GCF and LCM. Again, people think they know it, many people actually end up making mistakes, okay? So, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to read the GCF and LCM. Then we're going to directly get to the problems. All right. With that, you can use that as a reference. Try the first problem. You have to find the GCF and the LCM. Okay. Find the GCF and LCM of 6 AB cube 8 A squared B C squared. Go. You can expect this question in tier 2 problems. That's between 21 and 40 in ACT. Usual time people take around is 30 seconds when you have a direct problem like this. All right, let's get started here. First, start with the greatest common factor. So we always start with the numbers first, 6 and 8. So common factor, greatest common factor. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8. So 2 is the greatest you can get to, which is common. 2. And for the variables, you're looking at the lowest exponent of the variable. A squared, A, B cubed, B, so no C, so 2AB is the greatest common factor. Least common multiple. So for the 6 and 8, you take the biggest number, which is 8, and then you go with the multiples of it. 8 doesn't go with 6, 16, 24, okay, 24. And for the variables, it's exactly the opposite. You're looking at the highest exponent. A squared, B cubed, and C squared. Make sense? Now, what we're going to do today, just to kind of systematize this process. If any student got both of these correct here, face-to-face students, raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you're online, just do a thumbs up if you got this correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Quite a bit of students there. Okay, good. Let's go to the second problem. Try this problem. All right, let's get started. So kind of same problem, but a little twist at the end. So let's find the least common multiple. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. And highest exponents, x cubed, y squared, z cubed. And greatest common factor. So 5 and 7, what's the common between those? 1. Of course, we don't have to mention it, it's understood. X squared, y, so it'll be x squared y is the greatest common factor. So you're doing LCM divided by GCF is equal to 35 x cubed y squared z cubed divided by x squared y. So let me tell you a simple way to do this problem. So listen up. So 35 of course remains by itself. X cubed and x divided by x squared. So 3 and 2. So you're left with 1. Y squared divided by y. 2 and 1. You're left with 1. And z cubed. So 35 xy z cubed is the ratio of the least common multiple to GCF in this. How many got this correct? Face-to-face students. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Online. Thumbs up. All right. Quite a bit of students. All right. Moving on to the page. Still on the page 13. Mean, median, mode, and range. I'm going to directly give a problem to you guys to try all these 4. Mean, median, mode, and range. Okay? Try this problem. So here's a data set for you guys. Okay, go ahead. find the mean, median, mode, and range.
What are the first two numbers? It's glaring on the thing for the
14, 7, 61, 36, 7, 61, 71.
thing.
Mhm. Let's start with the mean. So what's the total of all these numbers added together?
257.
257. And how many we have? 3, 7. Okay. What's the mean?
36.71.
30.
6.
0.71. Okay. Usually you don't get something like that easy. So for median, you have to do the ascending or the descending order. So 7, 7, 7, 7, 14, 36, 61, 71. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the median is 36, right? And the mode is and the mean is 36.71. So you have to do the ascending or the descending. But if you are left with the middle two, then you do the average of the middle two. Mode is the highest frequency. 7 and 61. Right? Range, highest minus the lowest, 71 minus 7. 60. Okay. Very easy. You may get this one of these questions in the first 20. Not more than that. Can be tricky sometimes, but we'll get to those things later on. Guys good? Any questions? All right. Now we shift to some really interesting problems on page 13. Is average. And I can tell you many students don't know average. They think they know average. This is the average as well, but this is an easy average. Anybody can do that. But the real good stuff average, many people don't understand. So, what I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna now give you guys a problem, okay? But I'm not going to repeat the problem. So when I'm telling the problem, you need to only write information that is important to the problem, okay? And you'll know that. But I won't repeat it. So listen carefully. Ready? Okay. This was an ACT, okay? This was an ACT many a times, okay? In people taking SATs, you'll be hammered on this topic, an average. Okay, ready? All right, so there's a student in a classroom, okay? And he's supposed to take 9 total tests. So far, he has taken 6 tests. his current average is 91.2. His current average is 91.2. His target at the end of 9 tests, his target at the end of 9 tests is 93.1. What is the average of the remaining 3 tests? What is the average of the remaining 3 tests? Go. And when you're done, if you're not face-to-face students, put your hands up, put it down. If you're online, do a thumbs up for me, okay? All right. How many are confident in your answers? 1. Okay. Anybody from online? All right. Let me ask you some simple questions. It's a yes or no type of questions. Can you add averages? This is like the 3rd, 4th grade stuff I'm asking you guys. Can you add averages? No. You cannot add averages, so you cannot subtract averages. Can you multiply averages? No. Can you average averages?
Yes.
No. So you cannot do anything with averages. Averages is useless. But average is very important in math. You with me on this? So I repeat, when they ask to do anything with average, you cannot do anything directly with average. You cannot average averages, you cannot add averages, you cannot do anything. Nothing can be done. That's the fundamental behind this particular problem. So stop writing and listen up. Okay? Again, I've been stressing this for last 5 sessions with you guys. I do not focus on answers. I focus on the process. If your process is correct, more likely you're going to get it correct. If your process is flawed, your thinking is flawed, eventually you're going to get to the wrong answers. It's so fundamental to focus on the basics, especially average. And I can tell you, when you go to college freshman course, I've taught for 15, 16 years, and I still teach actually part-time. We don't really care about your calc background in college. Nobody cares. How much you know pre-calc? They ask 3 things. Even arithmetic, algebra 1, algebra 2, to some extent geometry. If you guys know these 3, you could be successful in college. Problem is people do not know arithmetic. Arithmetic is a huge issue, and next is algebra 1. There's a difference between getting an A in algebra 1 and knowing algebra 1. These are 2 different things, okay? I just want you guys to be clear about it. And averages should be taught for at least a month in your schools. That's how important average is. Because once you know average, you're going to be successful in college. That's how fundamental it is. So let's do this problem. Listen up. How many tests the student had to take?
9.
And what's his end target? 93.1. Okay. So average is defined as points divided by number of tests or whatever you call, right? This is a definition of it. Simple, yet so powerful. Average is 93.1 for 9 tests, right? So let's call it as X number of points. Okay. So cross multiply. Tell me how many points you should have. Do 93.1 times 9.
837.9.
837.9 points. So after the end of 9 tests, this is how many points he should get. How many got to this point? Raise your hands. Do the thumbs up if you're online. I don't see a whole lot of people. This is the average. That's what I'm talking about. This is the first time. So far, how many tests he has taken?
6.
And what's the average?
91.2.
91.2 for 6 tests. So let's see how many points he has as of right now. 91.2 times 6. 547.2. Is that right? Okay, points. So, after the 6 tests, he needs to score how many more points? X minus Y. Tell me.
290.7.
290.7 points. And how many tests is he left with?
3.
3. Points divided by tests left is the average.
96.
96.9 points per test he has to score in the remaining 3 tests to get to that 93.1 at the end. How many got 96.9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Pretty good. Questions? Yeah, please.
Why did you divide 290.7 by 3?
Okay, so the question was, what is the average for the remaining 3 tests to get to 93.1? So the remaining 3 tests average should be total points left for the remaining 3 tests divided by the total number of tests left. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any other questions? I remember when I was studying my first semester at Texas A&M, so I had a professor from Iran, really smart guy, and so I was his TA. I was his teaching assistant, GTA, graduate teaching assistant, and we were in the office, and one of our students walks in. He was actually one of my classmates as well. He walks in and says, "Hey, professor, I just want to know if I have a chance to get an A in the class." And he said, "Well, why can't you do the problem yourself? You know how it works." He's like, "No, I was not sure." He actually had to show this to a graduate student. People don't know average. If you don't know average, you're going to struggle in college. Especially physics and math. You're going to really struggle. Know your average so well that there should not be any confusion. And today is a good start. Again, you cannot average averages. You cannot add averages. You cannot do anything with averages. The only thing you can do is this number here, the points or whatever you want to call it as. This is what you can handle it. So you started with the points, then you get with points, then just one more step to get to the average. This is a big topic in SAT. It's a pretty big topic. You guys okay, or do you need one more problem? Okay. You guys don't speak up, so it's your loss, so. All right, before we continue, trust me, you're gonna come across a lot of these problems. So I'm gonna ask 2 questions to each student, and if you're a new student who has joined, let's say, in the last 1 or 2 weeks, you can just say pass, because that means you don't know much about the class. But if you have been here from the day 1 or pretty close to it, then I would like to answer this. So there are 2 questions. One, I would like you guys to rate how our prep program is doing. Okay, that includes our tutors, everything. Okay, on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Okay, and the second question is the same question, but just regarding how I am doing in the class. All right, do you understand the question? All right. Again, if you're new to this class, don't have much exposure, just say pass. That's fair. Okay, let's go. We'll start with you.
Okay.
Put you on the spot.
Okay. So.
The second question cut out.
Yeah, the like Zoom cut out.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
It's a little fuzzy, but yeah.
Oh, never happened before. Okay. All right. Let's. So the same question, but they have to rate me, just me individually, because we are next week is a midpoint of the semester, and I want to make sure that, like, one of the questions, so one of the comments from that group was very important to me, and they had some 1 or 2 small concerns, so I had to address it. So very small. That's why it's very important for me to know that. Otherwise, at the end of the semester, knowing this would be too late. So we have time to fix it. So go ahead, Eva.
Okay, so I would say like overall for the whole thing, probably like an 8, because I don't know. And then just for you individually,
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe like a 7, because I'm more of a visual learner.
Mm-hmm.
And some of this stuff, like, I don't know, it's hard. Like math is one of those things that's hard for me to remember. So I might have learned it a long time ago, but then I forget.
Mm-hmm. Not just you, many
Yeah.
many others. Yeah. Okay.
So that's
Good. Thank you.
For the class overall, I'd say an 8 because English and reading are kind of boring.
Okay.
And then for you, I say 9. I think you go at a good pace where you can like remember stuff, but like it's not too slow to where you get bored.
That's one of the comments they had was one of the student has concern with the tutors, one of the tutors being too fast. And my question to that student was, did you speak up and say that to slow down the instructor? Same with me, right? If I'm going fast, I can't. Again, over the years, I've been doing this, so I kind of have an idea. But if you guys don't speak up, there's nothing much we can do. Okay, it cannot be just go through the motion here. You have to just let, hey, go slow, go fast, whatever it is. But it's very important for us to know this. Next.
Overall, I would say an 8,
Mm-hmm.
and then with you, I would say a 7, because I don't really like how like you make us try the problem first,
Mm-hmm.
because then it just confuses me. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So you want me to go through the concept first and then do the problems?
yeah, like,
Okay.
at least like show an example of it first.
Okay.
And then
That's exactly the what opposite happened last semester. So they wanted to kind of try it out first. But yeah, it's always depends on the class. Yeah.
I would actually probably agree with that. I think the overall class is an 8 because I don't know like how much I'm actually retaining,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that it's not like hard. I mean, tutors, like I'm actually understanding what I'm learning.
That's important.
And for you, I would probably say a 7 because I feel like very pressured. Because like there's some things that I've never seen before, and then I will just like
Pressured? Okay. No.
yeah, because it's like with the time constraint, then it's like I have to get it done, but I don't know what I'm doing sometimes.
That's good. That you have, but you're here to learn, though, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Pressured? Okay. I'm okay with that, actually. You're gonna feel very pressured in the real test too, by the way.
That's true.
So I don't know if anybody took the yesterday's test yesterday, the Feb ACT. They said it was pretty hard. So the October was hard, December was easy, Feb was hard. I'm expecting April to be easy. So yeah, you're gonna feel a lot pressure. If you see this is pressure, you should come to that class. They'll feel a lot more pressure. But I'm okay with that, actually. Don't want to change it. Maybe I can look into what she was telling me.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because I think that's why. Because the thing is that I've never seen some of the problems before, or like the stuff that we're working on. And I mean, I don't really blame you guys at all, because I think that everyone's school curriculum is different. So there's stuff that other people have probably seen and worked on.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, yeah, it
Or
doesn't.
just like, or like, I guess I know how to do it, but like I forget. So like once we do one and refresh it, then I remember, and then I'm fine.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I don't want to do this problem first, because I want to. This is exactly how you're gonna feel in the real test, and then okay, well, once you know it, you can if you go home and practice. But yeah, you're gonna feel that heat in the real test. You really will. So.
I'd say for the whole thing, like, yeah, like 8 or 9, and then for you, like, 8 or 9, 10.
Okay.
Same with, like, doing an example before you do a problem.
So how many agreed to the? Because I can easily change that. That is very easy. So raise your hands if I should do the problems first and then give an example. I want you to be honest. I'm asking. I'm going to make a change. So
Give the concept first? Or
yeah, concept first. I mean, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. How about we try it maybe this time or next time, and I want to see how it works. What I should not happen. I want to be very careful about it, and that's why I'm doing this feedback here. Is I should not. I don't want you guys to feel very comfortable. Oh, now he's going to give the same exact problem, and I'm expected to do it. No, it's not going to be. I'm going to expose you to the concept. Maybe still to want to challenge you guys a little bit more. Especially this problem would have been a good one. I know that. So, okay, same question.
I'd probably say an 8, because, like, overall, because the English is easy, and then this class is probably a 7 because it's the concept, like, first. It's a
Concept.
lot easier.
So I want to ask about English quite a bit because I said that's one section I want to get most students get a 36 probably. How are we doing with English? Like, are you guys happy, easy, boring? What's the English status on this?
I'm pretty happy about how it's going.
Okay.
I think it's good. I think it's one of those things like that. Once you learn it, you're set. But if you never like understand it, I guess
Well,
then
I
you're kind of
think we just need to like individually re-look over the rules, because he already explained this, the grammar rules, so as long as we
yeah.
review it, we should be good.
So, do you ask questions to other tutors in the class? Like when you, one of the complaints we have for you guys, by the way, from this, including me and including other tutors, is you guys don't ask questions. They do. The other group, they ask all the questions. It's fun, to be honest, because it's very hard. So if I had not asked this thing, she would not have spoken up, and what would have happened? I would have continued, and it would have continued a small portion of frustration for you guys, right? that should colleges nobody's going to ask this professor, but if you volunteer this to professor and say, hey, you know what, I don't like this, can we help? It's not about trying to, you know, be critical of others. It's trying to improve as a classroom. So that's why it's very important. Yeah.
Overall 9 out of 10, and for you 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I would say the same thing.
Okay. Oh, you're new. Okay.
Overall an 8 and then you a 9 because I really like how you like attack the concepts, like the basics. It's good to refresh myself on.
Yeah, I'm seeing a problem overall in this classroom, not as an individual, that you guys are lacking quite a bit of basics. And I think the frustration is leading because of that, basically. Because you guys are, you think you've heard this, you've seen it, like you mentioned, right? But it's not, because you guys actually have not been really focused on basics. I can give you 10 more problems, you're going to get all 10 problems correct, because you're smart students, you can learn fast, but you're not being taught the basics well enough. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. All right, let's go to online. Nick?
I would give overall the class an 8. I really like Rahab for English. He answers all the questions really, really well. I think our thought processes kind of match. And then I like you. I would give you a 9. I like kind of like the challenging of it, because it's a little different than school. Like school, I feel like it sometimes can be too easy because they show you exactly how to do it and then you just replicate it. And it's less, I would say it's a lot less stressful, but I think it's good for me to experience it this way.
I think he hit the nail. That's what you guys are feeling right now. You guys are used to that all, 2 plus 2 is 4, then they'll ask you what is 2 plus 3 is, Here you're not asked 2 plus 2, then you go to all the way to division of fractions, right? And you're thrown in, and I see you guys, that's why I'm asking this question. I see a little panicky instead of being calm, and I want to make sure that you guys are establishing yourself for the real test. When the real test, you'll have nobody. You're on your own. If you're not mentally ready for it, you'll be in a big shock. And I'm telling you, 4 hours will be a big shock for you guys. So, Sahara?
Overall, I would give the class an 8 because I like how the tutors really go into depth and we're really able to understand, and they go in a really good pace. And for you, I would give you a 9 in general. I really like your teaching, and I like how you and also the tutors, they don't teach us like, in school they teach you like one way to do things because, that's their curriculum. So with you guys, like you teach us like how to not use the unnecessary information and how to like figure it out easier. So I really like that. And
that's very important. In ACT, you don't have time. You don't have time. And if you have a better method than what we have, use it. But you got to be quick. You just don't have time. And when you get to the practice test, and you guys will really start feeling it, oh my God, by a blink of an eye, the section is gone, especially reading and science. Good. Next, Nirmai.
I like the teaching styles of all the tutors. I would rate the math tutors, like you and the math tutor before you,
Aubrey.
probably 7 to 8 out of 10, only because it's going over concepts that maybe may not go for everyone, but I've already went over these concepts. But so it's not that you guys are teaching bad, it's that it's a little
Easier.
easy and repeating for me.
Yep.
And the English and reading, it's going a little, like it's helping a little more than the math tutoring is helping, so I'd give that maybe an 8 or 9 out of 10.
Good. Charlotte?
I would give the class overall an 8 because I feel like all the tutors are giving us a good foundation for what will be on the test, teaching how to take the test well. And I would give you a 9 because I like how you teach, but I would also like to see some examples prior to the problem.
Good. That's a major understanding today, is basically to do a kind of concept, maybe a problem, and then expose you guys to other things. Okay. I think I want to make the chain. I don't see how it's going to help you guys, okay? Because the next topic is going to be pretty important and I want to make sure that you're comfortable. Okay. All right. Eloise.
I would say a 9 out of 10 overall. I really like Rakov for English because he like explains everything well and gives several examples.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you, I'd say a 9 out of 10 as well because I feel like the hour online is like well spent and there isn't like any time wasted.
Oh no, not gonna happen. That's something I can guarantee that. Today is the only day we are gonna spend this time in asking because this is so important for us. And as I said, now we have students like Nirmay who thinks they're easy, it's, and we have students some struggling. So we have a wide spectrum of students, just like in college you're gonna be. Question is, where's the fine balance for this section for us? And I'm gonna pass all this information to all the other tutors. I really wanted to hear, especially today on the English part as well. I'm glad you guys are answering that. Tyler?
I would give it an 8 out of 10. English is like a really good like reminder and refresh of just like what to do. And then I would give you a 9 just for like how you shorten down our time to do our work, so we have to think faster, just how we would have to do in the ACT.
Exactly. Again, everything is planned in terms of, so for example, science, last time was kind of easy, right? Kind of went slow. You'll see a huge shift next Sunday when we get to science again. When you guys are getting comfortable, there will be pressure of time and you'll really will start feeling it, okay? And you'll have the clock, I'll be holding the clock in front of it. And this is exactly what you're gonna feel in the real test. Whether you like it or not is a different story, okay? You'll have to just suck it up at that time, okay? Isabel? I don't know.
I would give the class a 9 because I feel like it's really good at like going in depth and like refreshing the memory. And also I feel like all the instructors always like check to make sure we understand after each problem.
Good.
And then I would give you a 9 because like I also like how challenging it is, like how you do examples with the test and like times.
Okay. All right. Good. Kirti?
I would give the overall class an 8 because I like how everybody goes through the concepts and makes you understand them and like asks you if you have any doubts and stuff. But I find English a little bit boring as well. But and I give you a 9 because I really like the way you teach and you like make it interesting and you use like graphs and stuff to help us like get through the problems and also like give us a way to like the shorter way so that we don't waste time.
Yeah, it just, you won't have any time. And I'm really glad you guys been open with me because historically I've seen this class have not spoken up a little bit. So I wanted to give an avenue because if you had not told me today, probably you wouldn't have that chance. I may ask one after the end of like maybe 9th or 10th class one more time, a little bit more to see how we are doing. So when we ask for feedback, it's not about, it's just to make sure that we make any changes if needed. So we're gonna make one change to see how it works out. And if you think it's kind of easy at the time, oh my God, I'm not really, now it's making too easy, then let me know as well, okay? But I want to have that clarity in that one. All right, so go to page number 15. By chance, did Aubrey cover number lines for you guys? I don't think so, right?
No.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make the change right now and I'll see how it works out, okay? We'll see. So we're gonna go to the number line, and you guys have, almost all of you have done number line in school. So let's see how it works out. So, again, I don't want you to write though. That's the one, I'm gonna put a criteria. When I'm teaching, you can't write anything, okay? Take a picture or write it down somewhere at the time, I don't care. But I want you to understand. All right, so first one, simple one, absolute of x is equal to 3, okay? So remember one thing, many people actually don't know this. What does absolute measure?
The distance from 0.
Like the quantity.
Yeah, the absolute, but what does it measure? Yeah, what is
Distance from
it?
0.
Measures distance, right? And distance is always positive. That's why absolute has to be always positive because there's no negative at distance. Okay? So if I write absolute of x is equal to -3, the answer is no solution because you can't solve because distance cannot be negative. So, of course, you won't get this question, easy of a question in ACT, but they'll ask you what's the number line, draw a number line for this. The first job is to actually break the absolute, okay? So x can be equal to 3 or -3 because when I put absolute back here, it becomes +3. So when I draw the number line, trust me, you will not get this question in the test. I can guarantee this one. So, of course, it's a solid circle. You guys know solid circle, right? Good. So, again, I want to repeat one thing. Absolute measured distance. Absolute by itself should always be equal to positive value. If it's negative, there's no solution. Because no value of an x will make it this negative at the time. That's what it means. You guys good with this one? Okay, now try this problem. All right? If you want to still write down this, you can write down. But I want to give this problem to you guys. Try this. Is this okay strategy then? Are you happy? Okay. I'm totally open to ideas. Okay, totally open to ideas. All right. So now remember one thing, when you do any questions, solving any equations on absolute, your first job is to get absolute by itself on one side, okay? Anything outside of it, handle it first. So +3, so absolute of x minus 4 is equal to 2. Now check whether if its solution is possible or not. Of course it's possible in this case. So x minus 4 is equal to 2, or, very important actually, okay, x minus 4 is equal to -2. So x is equal to 6, or x is equal to 2. So the answer is 2, 6. Well, the best thing is about equalities or inequalities is you can just plug it back and see if it works. 2 minus 4, -2. Absolute of -2 is 2. 2 minus 3 is -1, so it works. That's how I would do the problem. How many got this correct? We have more hands, so your strategy is working right now. Okay, all right. Next problem. So now this is called an equality, right? Now we're going to go to inequality, okay? Which is where you're going to be getting more questions in the ACT. You may get this one around 20-ish, but the next one you're going to get, which I'm going to do right now, that type is around maybe high 30s, low 40s. Some of them can be even tier 3 questions, and I will give you that as an example. So, and I'm going to do these two problems here simultaneously, so you actually can see the difference. This is a less than, this is a greater than equality. This is called a compounded inequality. This is called an OR inequality. And OR. So less than means and compounded. This is OR greater than. Okay. So you got to be very clear on that one. So this is the and. This is the or. This is a huge task for you guys, and people have made mistakes in this. Okay. Now let's do this problem. Again, you gotta listen up. When you have an absolute inequality, less than inequality, it is always bound by those 2 points. What I mean by this is, if you have this one, so -3 less than x less than 3. So the way to break the absolute sign is to be bound by the negative value to the positive value. So the number line becomes pretty easy. So something like that. Okay? Now, this is called and because it has to be between these 2 points. This one is or, so the first thing is to break the absolute sign, x is greater than or equal to 3, or just like this one, x is less than or equal to -3. Because you can take, for example, -4, absolute of -4 is 4, 4 is greater than 3. So the number line is 3 greater or less than 3, -3, sorry. Make sense? The key thing is to remember this, and or. And again, you can only get to these points after doing any outside simplification first to get to this point. Guys good? Right on this. Guys good? So we're going to be continuing this portion of the math further on. What I would like you to do from now onwards is, if there is something like that idea, just don't wait. Okay, just at least let's put it on the table and see whether we're gonna take it or not. But I want to make sure that you guys learn, because your practice test will start pretty soon, and if you're not ready for it, you're gonna be in a big shock basically. Sounds good? Enjoy your Super Bowl. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.